Welcome, friends. Today, we are doing another fragrance rotation video for the week ending the 4th of May, 2025. Awesome. That is right, my friends. Once again, I have returned to you this time with another fragrance rotation video. And this week's fragrance rotation video is... it's got a couple of different things in there, actually, you know. I don't think there's nothing here that you haven't seen before. But maybe not together. The weather's been quite warm here this week. Unseasonably warm. It's always unseasonably warm when it's warm here, you know. But this week, you will see what I have chosen. And we will start, as we always do, friends, at the beginning. And on Monday, I wore this. Francesco Smallto Pom. I have reviewed this. I love this. One of my very favourite fragrances, a designer. It is a fougere with a big smoky black Italian leather in the base. And that smoky quality comes from both the leather and the oak moss. Smoke moss, if you will. A term I coined quite some time back. Came out in 1987. No word on the perfume. I've been trying to find out for ages. Lots of lavender, rosemary, patchouli, leather, oak moss, coumarin, geranium. But the star note, I think that makes this a bit different and a bit special, is the anise. It's not quite licorice, but it's not far off. And it's a lovely spice at the top of this. It's fantastic perfume. Much unheralded. And if you can ever find it, I would give it a sniff, you know? Tremendous. Next up on Tuesday, it was very warm, and on Tuesday I decided to wear Orange Sorco. Orange Sorco by Lizendabler. This was a star for me last year in the summer. I really enjoyed this. They have just released an extrait of this, which I don't know, I wouldn't mind trying it before I bought it, you know. But it's not easy to sample Lizendabler. Never mind the extras, you can't get samples of them, you know. I imagine it smells incredible. The Vanille Havane one smells incredible. It's one of the best smelling things I own, actually, the Vanille Havane. Vanille Havane in and of itself is one of the best smelling things I own, but the extras, phew. So I would love to smell the extra of this. This is orange blossom, cinnamon. We'll come back to cinnamon. Orange blossom, cinnamon, ethyl maltol. I always thought there was an ambergris, ambroxan type thing lurking within. But it's very rich. It's very, very apt for summer, strangely, for something so, like, thick. You know? It's a beautiful perfume. Hugely underrated, I feel. But I really enjoy this. Strangely enough, I love it, even though it's a white floral. I'm not a big fan. Not a big fan of white florals, you know? So that's interesting, isn't it? Wednesday, friends. Wednesday, I wore this. Roadster by Cartiier. Roadster. Mint, bergamot, patchouli. That is essentially what I get from this. This is one of my favourite fragrances ever. It was a signature scent for me back in the day, you know? So I've always had like a special a special place in my heart for it. I went through a few bottles of this when I was young. Vintage. Prices are now very silly for this. You're talking upwards of 150 quid. Somewhere on eBay, there's one for the best part of 500 quid, which is scandalous. But this is a tremendous men's designer. And again, they don't make designers like this anymore. In fact, there's another 2 in here which are stalwart men's designer perfumes. I don't think this ever achieved the well, it obviously didn't achieve the kind of fame the next 2 did, but I love the mint, the green bergamot mint thing going on that gives it that appley kind of thing, crunchy apple skin green. There's vetiver, patchouli, just an awesome all-round perfume, to be honest. Thursday I wore vintage Eau Sauvage. There's not really much I can add to the discussion about Eau Sauvage. One of the great men's fragrances of all time. Made by Edmond Rudnitska and released in 1966, I want to say. One of the first uses of hedione in a men's perfume, or in a perfume at all, I think. Big citrus opening, huge floral mid, jasmine, carnation, rose type thing, and then oak moss in the base with vetiver. It's green, fresh, crisp, smart. It's a little bit dry on me, which I really like. Absolutely amazing. Like you will be able to sample modern bottles of that. You should be able to find them in drugstores and stuff now. It's widely sold. Next, on Friday I wore something very green again, but a very different kind of green. And this is Incense Kyoto by Comme des Garçons. Incense Kyoto has a huge cypress note. Incense, cypress, vetiver, wood, almost non-distinct wood. Awesome fragrance. It's just, this is, in the wider perfume sphere, this line is completely ignored, you know, doesn't get talked about anywhere near what it should. It's a brilliant line. I have Avignon, which is a straight up Catholic incense, and I have this one, which is more green and crisp, crunchy, you know. Minimalistic, made by Bertrand Duchefort. I think it came out in 2002, 2004, something like that. It was early 2000s. Fantastic. All the bottles I've got of them are modern ones, and they're awesome, you know. So don't worry about that. But yesterday I wore one of the most heralded vintage men's perfumes of all time, and this is Dolce & Gabbana Porum. This is one of my originals. This was released in 1994, made by Max Gavari, who also made Quorum. Again, big lavender, sage, bergamot, lemon, cinnamon, tobacco, tonka bean. I was pretty pissed off when I first put it on. I was like, oh, this just smells like a cologne type thing, you know, like a sagey cologne type thing. But after about 2 minutes, it just sort of bloomed massively. It was really nice, crisp, thin lavender, little bit spicy, a little bit floral, geranium, and then dried down some nice light brown tobacco with the tonka bean to round it out, make it beautifully pitched, absolutely glorious. Like, these bottles seem to hold up really well. Nobody talks about them Nobody talks about them going off, you know. And last but not least, my scent of the day. My scent of the day is something a little bit different. I've already mentioned this note once or twice in this rotation. And this is Rousse. Rousse by Serge Luton. This is fantastic. Again, massively unheralded as far as the Serge Luton line is concerned. Nobody talks about this. It's a fresh, clean, warm, crisp cinnamon. It's very complete. It's very interesting. Cloves, a little bit ambery in the dry down. It's very tasty. It wears quite light actually for something with this kind of profile. But to me, this is one of the best end uses of cinnamon in a perfume. Maybe it's not like the best cinnamon material, you know, like Lizendabler quality that's in Orange Sorco, but the end product, the actual whole composition, the way that it all stands up together is amazing. And it's one of those fragrances that shows just how good Christopher Sheldrake and Serge Luton were together. This perfume's 18 years old this year. What the fuck is going on? We're nearly halfway through 2025. How? This came out in 2007. Time is just slipping through our hands, friends. And on that cherry note, it is time for me to go. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all again soon. Bye.